And we're live, and it's time for another edition of, or version of, or show of Let's Get Visible, Visible. I want to get visible. You got that right. Laura here once again for the 29th day. I'm your partner in crime for all things visibility. I just want to help you get visible in front of your ideal clients, in front of your target audience, so that you can position yourself as a leader, as an expert in your industry, as the go to person. Also, just want to help you attract the clients that you've always wanted, open those doors that you never thought were possible to be open. I just want to help you get visible. So if you're Team Live or if you're Team Memorex, drop your name in the comments and say where you're tuning in from, because I'd like to know. I'd love to know. Okay, now, before we get into what's happening, okay, before I say what we're getting into, what's up, God friend? Good to see you here. I'm so glad that you've tuned in today for my second to last live stream of the day, of the month. It has been such a wild ride, wild ride. I can't believe it. It was just 1 month ago that I said I'm going to go live on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube to practice my live stream skills to get more comfortable so that when you see me in person, what you see is what you get. And I just wanted to practice this and I wanted to increase my visibility. And so I said, let's do a challenge. Well, I'm going to go on for 30 days in a row to give you some value, give you some game, and to introduce you to some of my amazing friends. And that's exactly what I did. Exactly what I did. I went on live. This is day 29. As I said, more than 4 weeks. I can't believe it. I got comfortable. So I got my mojo back as far as going live. Really, what you see is what you get. It's either this or I'm really, really quiet because I am an introvert at heart, if you can believe that. So it's either that or this. This is me most of the time. And then I also was able to introduce you to 8 of my friends so far. And I saved, well, I'm going to say I saved the best for last. Why am I saying that? Because she just happens to be my last guest of the month. So I saved the best for last. And why did I do this? Well, I did this because I want to talk about something that's really important that I find that not enough people are doing. Yes, you need to get visible, but yet you don't have to do it all on your own. The caption for this live stream today was cooperation and collaboration over competition. And why that is so important is how many times do we think that we know everything and that we are the it in our industry, and everybody else that is doing the same thing that we are not our friends, not our colleagues, but they're the enemy? How many times do we think that? Maybe you don't think it now, but have you ever thought that? A lot of times that's what goes through our head, is that if someone is in our space, we can't work with them. We can't do business with them. We can't collaborate with them. We can't support them. We can't like their posts. We can't recommend them. And that's kind of off because really, even though I am the it as far as LinkedIn training and public speaking and helping business owners increase their visibility, not everybody's attracted to me. I mean, it's hard to believe. I know it's very hard to believe that everybody just does not want to be around the essence of Laura. But there's 1 or 2 people like that. And for those 1 or 2 people, why not introduce them to a friend who is just as great as I and that could offer great value, and they may have a better liking to? So today I want to just bring on my good friend, Miss Dee Boswell-Buck. I'm going to bring her onto the show right now. And then we're going to talk. We're going to talk. We're going to talk. We're going to talk more about that. All right. So there she is. Right back at you as you turn your mic on.
Hi, Laura.
Hello, Dee. How are you?
I am awesome, and even more so after hearing what you just said. Thank you so much.
It's not a problem, not a problem at all. I think this is something that needs to be talked about even more nowadays. I find too many of us are islands, and if you put one island together, it makes a bigger island. Two islands together, you know what I mean? When you
Yes.
join forces, the impact is just so much better. And I wanted to talk about that because it's not just a solo thing. Business is not just a solo event. So I'm so glad that you're here to wrap up my ninth day of having guests on my live stream. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And Laura, if I can just quickly say, to add on to what you said, I remembered, I think it was 2021, and I do have some friends who are connected to you, and you came across my feed on LinkedIn, and I just love, like, I don't even understand how anyone cannot love the essence of Laura. And I saw them engaging in your content. And I'm still pretty. I'm an introvert, but timidly, I liked some of the posts that you were sharing, and I just want to share to everyone that you sent me a DM. So you sent me a connection request, and then you left me a voice note on LinkedIn. And it gave me the warm and fuzzies. And yes, I already knew about you. I know that we are in the same industry, the same field, and you won me over. And I'm just ever so grateful for that.
Thank you, thank you. I'm so glad you're in my network. I'm so glad that we're friends now, and more so, I'm glad for some of the things that we've done together and that we're going to be doing in the future. In the future. So now, before we get into our little time of talking together, introduce yourself, please, Dee, to our communities.
Yeah, well, hi everyone. My name is Dee Boswell-Buck, and my company is Boswell-Buck Creative Consulting. And what my team and I, what we do is we help business owners to connect with their target audience in the in the online space, and we do that with strategy. So I'm not a believer that you have to be everywhere. I believe that your business should be where exactly it needs to be, whether that is first and foremost where your target audience is, and also where your business can make the most impact. And I like to say that we help you to magically show up in the feed of your audience. It's not about magic, but we use strategy. So for instance, based on the platform that you're on, that could include hashtags. Not a lot of people know that when it comes to social media, it's great to share educational content. What are those, like, answering those questions that your audience have? Because when they are looking up those terms on Google, sometimes your social media feed can come up on Google as well. So we want to know that when somebody does see you, you're answering all the right questions and that everything is cohesive. So that's a bit about what it is that we do.
All right. Well, I'm glad to have you here to talk about social media and strategy. It's a great way, I think, to wrap up this month. Now we have Deanna Anderson. Also, her nickname is Dee. Deanna,
Ooh.
good to have you back. Deanna was on Wednesday. Wednesday, we talked about essential oils and taking care of our health and our wellness. So good to have you back, Deanna. And Godfriend, you said yes, we have to introduce this program to more. We definitely do. We've got to do a lot more collaborations with people in our industry and just magnify or multiply our visibility just by working with other people. That doesn't
Yeah.
matter if the same industry, yes or no. So I'm glad that you're both here tuning in. So, Dee, tell us about how you got started. I mean, you got started in this line of work a little bit late. Tell us a little bit about how you got started.
Yeah, so I got started kind of by accident. So 2018, I became a mom. So I was going on maternity leave. I worked at this company for about, at that point, maybe 21 years or so. And I remember going on maternity leave, and I was having my baby at the age of 42. So I went on mat leave, and I remembered leaving and saying to everybody, see you next year. I'm not going to miss you. And I on average, I worked with about 1,000 people every single day. So I felt like I needed the quiet. And then when I went on maternity leave, I did a lot of crying and I was very, very lonely because, and I mentioned my age because by that time, my friends who did have children, their kids were hitting the double digits. So I had no one to hang out with. During that time, I started a group called the Mamalicious Mamas. I called it that because I felt really frumpy and I needed like a really big name. And I just wanted to get out of the house. And so fast forward, I made a website while I was on maternity leave. I had a Twitter account. I have a Facebook account, which is still up if you ever wanted to take a look for it. And some of them, and I organized events, and some of the moms would say things to me like, "Are you in PR? Do you plan events?" And no one knew that I was a supervisor wearing safety shoes and in a unionized environment. I really enjoyed what I was doing. And by the time before I got back to work a year later, I had like over 400 active members. And I started this group as an online community, and then we were meeting in person. And companies were reaching out to me, like Kisco Freezies, Children's Place, you name it. And I was so proud that before I went to work, I went to LinkedIn to update my boring account because I was like, LinkedIn. I'm really proud about what I did, but uh, the mom said PR. They said organizing events and closed down my desktop because I didn't have a laptop back then. Had a BlackBerry, and I went back to work. And the day before I went to work, LinkedIn started showing me jobs, community management, digital marketing, and I was like, "What is this?" And I said to my husband, "Oh my gosh, people get paid to post stuff." And I did some more research and I found that it is a thing. And I went back to school. I became certified, hoping that I would get a job at the company I was at, and I did not. I was not qualified, which I was, you know, it was I just got the certificate. I became certified, and eventually I just decided that I just wanted to go out and do this on my own. Not to mention, I had a little one, and I was driving 62 kilometers one way to work. So I developed a love as I went back to school. I was doing this as a side hustle, and then I officially launched my business in 2018. Yeah. So 2012 I had her. 2018 I launched my business.
Oh, wow. And then it's been nonstop ever since,
It's
correct?
been nonstop. I have not looked back. It's been an adventure, but I have not looked back.
Oh, good, good, good. It's so nice to hear that. And I think a lot of people need to hear that you don't have to think that just because you're in a certain industry, that's what you went to school for, that's what you graduated with, and you have 15, 20 years into it, that you have to stick it out for another 15, 20 years. I
Yeah.
like that you were able to pivot and do something that really made your heart sing later
Yeah.
on in life. And so that's good. I think some people, I know that there's somebody that needs to hear that you did it and they can do it too. So that's great.
Mhm.
Now,
Yeah.
I have a couple questions for you. Now, getting into social media, a lot of times when people say, okay, I hear, why don't you post? You need to post more. That's what a lot of business owners, I'll tell them they need to post more, they need to be more visible, they need to do certain things because right now they're not doing much. What are some social media rules that you've heard of that you really don't approve of? And tell me what you think that people could be doing. So give us some game. Myths and these facts. Let's hear what do you have to say?
Yeah, so I think business owners, we often hear when we start sharing more on social media that we shouldn't be salesy. And I want to approach that in a way. So, we're on social media um, to offer value, and we're also here for our business. And I think like this is a very important topic for me because when I see some of the content that's being shared on a platform, I think to myself that we don't have to be salesy, but I'm not too sure if this is like a really great way of offering value. And so And again, I'm not judging, I'm just sharing examples. So I'm thinking of a couple of accounts where one day it could be like, what's your favorite chocolate bar? The next day it's sandals or sneakers, right? And you never really understand what that business owner is about or what their business is about. And most importantly, how it is that they can help you. So I love those engagement posts. For instance, we have a client and she has a cooking school, and everyone knows about the services that she offers, and everyone knows about her great sense of humor. And then we had an engagement post about steak. How do you like your steak, medium or rare, right? So it's something that plugs in really nicely. And I think that we just want to, I think it's great for everyone to be aware that there's a lot going on online overall. And you want to be able to, offer value. I think about, like, I always like to bring it down to real life. Would I just show up to I have a wonderful sister-in-law, so I'll use her as an example. Would I just show up at my sister-in-law's house every single day and just go there and sit on the couch and chat about nothing? Or would she appreciate if I came by and I had a cup of coffee and I heard about what it is that she's going through, and we talked about things that were similar, and maybe she didn't see me every single day as well, right? So what it's about, like, showing up and offering value. And I think that if we apply that mindset to social media, not just show up just because, I think that we could really get further with the platforms.
Well, that's a good point. I like the point about the engagement post. You're right. There are accounts or people would do those, sneakers versus high heels, and they could be in something that has nothing to do with that. And so I like what you're talking about, the your client with the steak. How do you like it? Do you like it medium rare or do you like it well done? That would tie in more. People would still give their opinion, but it's tying into her business and reminding you, okay, well, she's a chef. So it has that correlation. So I like that idea, as far as being more mindful as to what you're posting. I like that. I like that. What other things are you thinking? You hit it on about talking to your sister-in-law about showing up every day versus not every day. What do you have to say about posting frequency? I know you can't give us for everything for all the different platforms. What do you think about posting frequency on different platforms?
Yeah, so the experts out there say that for specific platforms, like, of course, there's LinkedIn, there's a certain posting frequency. And then, say, on Instagram, the posting frequency is said to be 3 times a day. And I always want everyone to honor, like, where they are at in their business. When I think about those platforms that are at 3 times a day, or those platforms where, people are showing up every single day, I again, you want to honor where it is that where you are with your business, and also realize that sometimes some of these companies, they have a team as well. So what I like to do for my clients is that we say that a minimum of 3 or 4 times a week. And I think you're hitting gold when it's like 5 or more times a week. Now, so on average, like, we will do like 20 times a month for our clients, and then I will also try to apply that for myself. Now, and I say that because as somebody who does digital marketing, I think a lot of people feel like, oh, it's so easy, Dee. Like, you're already scheduling, you already got this down pat. However, when we're running our own business, it's kind of hard to, like, give our own business the attention that it needs. And what I had to do was I had to assign my social media coordinator to, like, write the content, and so treat me as a client. Write the content. I go in and I tweak what needs to be tweaked, and then I'm showing up at a consistent rate. So I like the number of 3 to 5 times a week, and then I think I imagine that when you're showing up that often, somebody opens up their phone or they're taking a look at their social on their laptop, you happen to show up because you're being consistent.
Right. I like that. And it's sometimes people think that if they're showing up 3 to 5 times a week, or let's say 5 times a week, that is too much. But then everybody doesn't see your posts, which means that even if you
Yeah,
are posting 5 times a week or 7 times a week, or depending on the platform, a lot for that platform, not everybody's seeing all of your posts every time they open it up. So if you won't ever get to that point where it's overkill and where they're seeing you too much to not want to see you again. So
yeah.
don't be scared. Don't be scared of putting out content more frequently than once a week or something like that. Do it more. Do it
And
more.
for us, I think we're just taking a look. We're doing a bit of an audit of our own of Boswell Creative social media. And the last 3 months, we were showing up maybe like anywhere from 6 to 7 times. But again, being mindful and some of those engagement posts that I talk about, I like to have fun. So it's does it always match with my business? It's more so like aligned. So I either align with my business or I am a mom and I remember sharing a post where I was dancing in my living room because the premise was that I got a phone call that my family was going to be late. And I had a blazer on and I was dancing in front of my ring light, which meant, yay, I get to make some more reels without being interrupted, right? And that was it.
Oh, that's good. And on that same note, for me, my Friday Feel Good Friday videos, which as soon as I finish, I'm gonna post it. But it's what does dancing on Fridays have to do with my business? But it's part of my personal brand. When I see you, I want you to know that you can be chill, you can have fun with me. So it lines up. I'm not talking about marketing, but I kind of am because I am getting visible and I am getting the engagement and I am getting I get a lot of comments in the comments on the different platforms that I shared in, but I get a lot of private messages from people who appreciate that, and that's relationship. So I'm getting visible, I'm attracting that following, and it has nothing to do with LinkedIn training or corporate workshops or anything like that, which is it's good. It's good. It's just one more thing to keep it variety because I think a lot of times people think, oh, and there's certain industries that come to mind that every post that they share, it's about a sales post. It's not about them. It's not about how they're helping people. It's always a buy this. So it's tilted to the extreme. You know what I mean? There's no balance in there. So I like what you're saying. I have to go back and look at your video and find that video. I have
Well, I have a question for you, Laura.
Go ahead.
Um, because I want to say with your dancing videos, like I just remember it's Dancing Friday. Like I don't have a notification, but I know when I get to LinkedIn, something in my mind says I need to like go to your profile and see the you dancing. And I'm curious, have you ever missed a Friday dance video? And
Yes,
has anyone ever said, "Hey, where's the Friday dance video?"
yes, yes, and
Really?
yes. Yes. Okay. So I've been doing it for now 3 years. The first year I gave myself that challenge. I'm going to do every Friday, and I missed three or no, I missed 4 or 5 or something like that. And I was getting messages. When I didn't show up, I got the messages. And then when I did, I'd either get it private messages or I'd get people to comment, "Oh, I missed you last week." I got those several times, many, many, many times. This year, I've only missed one, which is like, whoa. It's been from January 1st. I think the first one was Kathy Isaac, was my first for January. And straight up to now, it's every week. Now, here's the thing though, and I'm just gonna spill the beans. A couple of those were videos that I had posted from a year ago or 2 years ago that I
Repurposing.
repurposed because I just didn't have it in me to do a video, or I was rushed, or it was not the right space, or I didn't have any space on my phone to make one, which is it talks about the whole repurposing. You repurpose and no one even noticed. And I would get the same. high levels of engagement and comments from people, and you didn't have any clue. The only thing is for me, before like right after I cut my hair, I had long dreadlocks, and thankfully I started these Feel Good Friday videos since I cut my hair, so you really couldn't tell.
Right.
But the whole thing about repurposing, what are your thoughts on repurposing, and what tips can you give? Because that was my thing. Feel free to repurpose your videos because not everybody has seen them, and even if they have seen them, they'll see it again and they'll still comment. Like Julie Mango. I don't know if you watch, do you follow
Oh,
Julie Mango?
I have her name here because there's a couple of posts, and I am Julie Mango. I have it like right here for because I
All
love to
right.
follow like specific accounts that I laugh so much at.
Now, if you, Deanna, Dr. A, Godfriend, if you, and anybody else, Team Live or Team Memorex, if you are not following Julie Mango, you need to go check her out. She is cool and she brings everything Jamaica. She's just a laugh. She's just a laugh. But I bring her up to say she repurposes her videos. And even when she reposts them, she is getting thousands upon thousands of likes, of comments, of reshares, because not everybody goes back into your profiles and looks at all of the posts. And over time, she gets more and more followers. So it's a new post to them, even though she might have done it a year or two or three ago. Now, what do you think about repurposing? What tips or strategy can you help give people, D, on repurposing their content, making their life easier?
Oh gosh, I repurpose my content all the time, and it does make your life easier. Especially like there could be cases where you have three offerings that you know that this is what you want to work on, and it's like, yeah, you have to say it. You have to share that service that you're offering so that people are always mindful that you are the go-to person for that. So, ways that you can repurpose your content is that you can just do slight tweaks on the actual caption, give it a different intro, give it a different outro. With regards to like your reels, which I highly agree, Laura. So for myself, a reel that I might have shared about 6 months ago, I put it right back into the rotation again. I usually wait about 6 months, and I do that. So I think it's a great idea because you are gaining more and more people, new people who are following you, who would really appreciate seeing that reel. It could bring them some joy. And also those who are following you, they might not have seen that content, or those who are following you, they just really enjoy it. And I want to share a bit of a secret. Like, so whenever it comes around to my anniversary of being a business owner, I love to share like the strong why of why I became a business owner. And it would be a picture of my daughter and my daughter and I. It's always updated. And I shared it. So the previous year in 2022, we were at Casaloma and I wrote out a post and it was a picture of us. And then I had the warm and fuzzies again. And I was like, I think I want to pull that post out. And when I looked, it was shared 364 days previously. So what I did was I put the new picture of us up and I tweaked the post slightly. I also increased it by a year. Instead of saying 4 years ago, I said 5 years ago. And then I shared it on my platforms and it got no one said, hey, wait a second, you shared that last year. I got like quite a bit of engagement on it from the new followers and even the ones who have been following me for a very long time. So when you're repurposing your content, it just reestablishes what it is that you do, and also it alleviates the stress of creating new content.
Right. I think one of my challenges that I might do is a month where I share nothing but repurposed content.
Ooh,
And
stop.
I think I may do that because I think a lot of people think, okay, I've got to be creating new content. And yes, new content is great, but you have so much content that that you've been creating over the past how many years. Why not bring that up? Now, for your content that you said it with your daughter, you changed the picture, but you use pretty much the same caption, except you changed the number, right? Is that pretty much what you meant?
Pretty much, because it was still my strong why.
Right,
It's
right.
still my strong why.
No, that makes sense. For one of my Feel Good Friday videos, I removed the background. I used, what did I use on that? It was either CapCut or remove.bg. No, I didn't do it on Canva. Remove.bg or CapCut. I removed the background. The one where I have my Phillies. Well, there's a couple of them, but the one with the Philadelphia Phillies gear that I had, and I fell halfway through, and then I got back up. That one was really a popular one. And how I repurposed that one is I just put a background of a football field and repurposed that one again. And it looked totally different because it was a different background. It wasn't on the grass. It was on a green screen thing, and it went over well. And some of them I don't even change the background or anything, but that one in particular, I think I've used that one twice, maybe three times. I've repurposed that one, and it's gone over well every time. So it just goes to show, if something is good,
Yeah.
you can reuse it again. You can definitely reuse it again. All right, now, what's another question that I want? What's your favorite platform?
Ooh, tricky. Um, it's LinkedIn, and then at a slim, like coming up at the back, it's Instagram. And on occasion, Instagram can go at the front and LinkedIn's coming up. But right now, it's been LinkedIn for a good 4 months, but Instagram is like chip, 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 chip. So those
Okay.
are my two.
All right, and mine are LinkedIn, and I'm really digging TikTok, even though I'm on it, then I'm not. I'm on it, then I'm not. But LinkedIn is my jam, and then I like TikTok because then I could be me, even more
Yeah.
so me, even more so. Those are my two platforms that I really like. Now, when we're talking now, as I said on the caption, I mentioned the whole cooperation and collaboration over competition, and why I'm glad that you're here. And this whole live stream thing for 30 days has been about getting visible, you know, showing up more on marketing. So it's really fitting that you are my final guest for September. Although I'm going to be doing this again come October. I don't think the end of my live streaming journey is done. I hope everybody's excited about that. If you're excited about that, let me know. Let me know. But why I'm happy is that I had the opportunity to be on your show when you had some live streams, um, and I appreciated that. And I'm having you at our So You Still Want to Write a Book workshop, talking about social media and email marketing. And I'm so excited to have you there and to know that we both love LinkedIn. We both look kind of similar. We both are in the same industry, but yet we can do this. And
Yeah.
I've seen it where it's the other way. And so I'm just so happy that you're going to be joining us. When you talk about email marketing, give us a little game as to how do you do some strategy to help people grow their. Don't tell everybody right now because they have to come to the workshop, but drop a little bit of game. We still got to give people something to take action on. Drop a little bit of game on why you have to grow your email list and your community that way, and anything else that you think that we need to talk about now.
Email marketing is very important. And people usually start off with, well, how often should I do it? Or I even hear things like, well, I feel like I'm going to be bothering people if I get on, if I send them an email. So I do have an email list, but once a month, that's too much. Um, so the reason why having an email list is very important is that your list belongs to you. Your list are names that people said, I want to be on your list. You have my permission to send me an email. And another thing is that the digital marketing, it's amazing. It's great. It's a great way to reach so many more people. It's also kind of noisy. And if you jump into somebody's inbox, then they're looking at their email and they're not distracted by all of these other windows that are open on their phone. If it's on, I'm thinking about Instagram, you could be looking at an Instagram post and then you get a drop down that says that somebody is broadcasting live. Like, there's a lot of bells and whistles that are happening. And the social media platforms, they don't belong to us. So we can lose out on there. And I know that people do not think that it can happen, but these social media platforms, they can disappear. There have been social media platforms that have disappeared. And I've even seen it where, somebody, like, I'm thinking of one person specifically, and I'm even thinking about, there's a supermarket, and I'm going to say the name because it was a big thing in the papers a couple of years ago. It's called Summerhill. And they were hacked. So they had an Instagram account with over hundreds of thousands of followers, and somebody pressed a link in the DMs, and their Instagram account got hacked. So now I see, like, I was taking a look, they're at like 24,000 followers, but this happened to a very large company where they had a large following already following them. So if you have your email list, there's less shenanigans that can happen, and also a lot of the busyness that is happening is removed because you are jumping into somebody's inbox.
Right, right. And even to the fact that you may have thousands and thousands of followers, connections, friends, not everybody's seeing your content.
Yeah.
And if they're not seeing you on a regular basis, then you're out of sight, out of mind. But if you have their email, then you could still be showing up in their inbox, which is just another way to stay visible, to complement all the work that you're doing on social, and then be able to give them good offer, good value, talk about new specials or new things that you have coming up, or new new products, new services that you can offer them without all the distractions. So I like that. I like that. And so on Saturday, November 11th, you're going to be dropping some game for our aspiring authors to show them how they can grow their list. Because it's one thing when you have your book and you publish your book, and then you have that first people, they buy it or they like it. But then why not your second book and your third book to be able to
Hmm.
drop in your inbox, give them some free value, maybe some PDFs or something when you're sharing that in your emails. And then when your next book drops, it's just an email blast, so
Yeah.
it's good.
You
I'm
have
I'm
this
look
warm audience. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's why I'm really excited to have you there, because that's one thing that I know that authors as well as business owners need to learn. So if I'm putting a plug in, because I'm having you to come and share some email marketing game as one of our featured presenters, and I know that it's going to be a blast. It's worth the price of the whole workshop, the whole
And
event.
thank
Just
you for asking me. I was so excited when I got the request. Yay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was kind of a no-brainer. Let's just say it was a no-brainer, and I'm just glad you said yes. All right, now before we wrap up, what final words of wisdom, tips, strategy, anything you want to share with our audience as to something that they can take action on going forward with their own marketing, their own digital, their own online strategy, anything? What do you want to give some game before we wrap up?
Yeah, okay. Well, I talked earlier about how I like to share analogies. So I would say that before you embark on a new social media platform, or maybe you might want to even revisit what it is that you are doing on a particular platform, do a little bit of research. And the analogy I like to think of is you're going to a networking event. And so I'll use LinkedIn as an example. And you're going to a networking event, and before you go to this in-person networking event, and before you purchase that ticket, you went online and you saw, what is this event all about? who's going to be there, what kind of industries are going to be there. And then you thought to yourself, okay, great. I think I'm going to show up in my bright green blazer or in my bright pink blazer. I'm going to have these types of information with me. When I go, I want to make sure that I have like really good conversation. And when I go to these networking events, I am not just showing up, like say showing up on social media and just blasting everybody with content. I'm actually like doing things that are engaging and making conversation. So just imagine you go to a networking event and you walk in this bright pink blazer, and then you just stand in front of a group of people and you say nothing. That's so social media is networking, inspiring conversation, and also doing that research so that when you are sharing or when you are like reaching out to others, they're going to see the value that you're providing and that they're also going to reach out. So just think of it as that, because social media is social.
Say that one more time, please.
Because social media is social.
All right. There, okay. It was lotion last night, a couple days ago. Now it's lip gloss. Mic drop there. There you go.
Yeah.
It is social. It is social. So we need to be more social. All
Yeah.
right. Well, Dee, before you go, Mark, nice to have you here. Mark says his two favorite live streamers here on one live stream. Mark, there you go. There you go, Mark.
Thank you,
Mark was the
Mark.
Mark was the first guest that I had here when I brought guests on for these last 2 weeks. You're my last one for September. Oh my gosh, two bookends right there on an amazing month. Oh gosh. All right. Now, Dee, how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, if you'd like to get a hold of me, you can connect with me right here on LinkedIn at Dee Boswell-Buck, or you can check me out on my second favorite platform, which is Instagram at Dee Boswell_Buck. And last but not least, feel free to check out my website if you'd like to reach out. Just hit my contact page, and I've got an easy peasy form that you can fill out, and we can connect.
All right. Well, Dee, it's been a fantastic, fantabulous pleasure to have you here. I'm looking forward to seeing you in a month and a half at the So You Still Want to Write a Book workshop. And I know we're going to do other things outside of that, but I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you very much for being my final live stream guest of this Let's Get Visible live stream show. Thank you, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. I look forward to jumping back onto LinkedIn a little bit later this afternoon and seeing the dance that's happening.
I have it ready. It's on my phone. I have it ready.
Awesome. Thanks, Laura.
All right. I'll see you, Dee.
Take
All right.
care. Bye-bye.
All right. Everybody show Dee some love. Connect with her if you have not yet already. She gave you her contact info. Send her a message. Say, hey, Dee, we're not connected on LinkedIn yet, but we need to. I saw you on Laura's Let's Get Visible live stream show. Make sure you connect with her. She's fantastic, fantastic lady to work with. And yeah, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't connect with her and follow her. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, next week, next month, in a month and a half, Saturday, November 11th, Dee is going to be leading one of the workshops, the breakout sessions for our So You Still Want to Write a Book workshop, which is for aspiring authors near and far. Well, even if you're far, you're going to have to show up in person because we're not doing virtual, but it's for everyone. If you have a book inside of you, one help you get it out of your head and onto the page. And then once you have it on the page, how are you going to market it so people will want to buy it? Dee's going to be leading one of the breakout sessions. We're going to have a group of fantastic ladies that have written all sorts of books, from books on poetry, books on resilience, cookbooks, murder mysteries, business books, activity and journal books, anthologies, all these different type of books. So if you are interested in writing a book, you need to be there, and then you need to register. Once you sign up, we're going to send out the registrations closer to the date so that you can get booked into Dee's workshop, her breakout session. So make sure you make plans for that. Saturday, November 11th. I made a post on my LinkedIn platform. After tomorrow, I'm going to be heavily sharing that, but it's, what is the word? The thing, it's visibletothemax.com/write your book. Okay, so that's that. What do I have planned for tomorrow, our final day together? Well, I'm going to reflect tonight. That I'm going to reflect tonight. And I'm going to think about what are some of the things that I learned over these last 30 days of live streaming. What are some things that I need to improve on? What are some things I want to do going forward? What are some of the highlights, the lowlights, the midlights of going visible on live streams? And what kind of advice do I have for you? Because it's not just about me, it's about you. Maybe you don't want to go live, but maybe you want to do a challenge of some sort. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. And I'm also going to be doing the draw for 2 trips to well, either Las Vegas, Niagara Falls, or Montreal. I'm going to have some draws tomorrow. So if you have not commented on our live streams, make sure you comment on today's live stream. I'm putting everybody into the bin. And where's my trusty, dusty bag? I'm going to be doing the draw tomorrow. And I'm also going to be giving away 2 more $200 hotel savings cards because I didn't do the draw yesterday. I'm not going to do it today. I'm going to do it tomorrow. Okay. And so, on that note, I think that I've wrapped up. Listen, I have had so much fun doing this. If you've been enjoying it, I know sometimes I'm a little long winded, but hey, you know what? Now, that's just what it is. I'm live streaming and I'm just talking and sharing. And if it's a little long, then you could just fast forward it a little bit, right? No, don't do that. Listen to me at normal speed. Okay. It's Friday. I'm gonna post my Feel Good Friday video. I'm gonna go hang out with my husband. I'm gonna go outside and enjoy this weekend. All right. So until tomorrow, when I do my final Let's Get Visible live stream, I want to say have a wonderful afternoon or evening or morning or wherever you are in the world. And I'm going to see you tomorrow. Okay. Looking forward to it. So now let me sing my song. Let's get visible, visible. I want to get visible. And I'm out.